I had awesome parents who let me sleep in the living room on weekend nights when I was very young. My sister was a light sleeper, and I was a night owl who loved watching old reruns on Nick at Night until I passed out. We lived way out in rural Georgia where the nights are pitch black, the trees are thick, and the silence can ring louder than a scream. That night, like so many before, I fell asleep on the couch under the soft glow of the TV. Then came that feeling. A prickly jolt of instinct, like ice water in my veins. I shot upright, wide-eyed, pulse-thudding, and stared at the front window. In the moonlight, framed by swaying trees, I saw it, a silhouette of a man perched up in one of the tall pines. Not standing. Not sitting. Perched, like something that didn't quite belong in a human body. His limbs hung too long, too still. And he was watching. The dog, our golden retriever, bolted to the window, teeth bared, growling deep and low. A sound I had never heard from her before. I tore into my parents' bedroom, breathless, trying to explain. My dad grabbed a flashlight and something heavy and rushed outside with the dog right at his heels. I stayed wrapped in Mama's arms, heart still racing. When Dad returned, he was pale and shaking his head. "Nothing out there," he said. "No footprints, no broken branches. Just the woods." I didn't sleep in the living room after that. I went back to my room and tried to calm down. My sister groaned as I slid into bed, but I whispered what happened, and she went quiet. Too quiet. Even she knew this wasn't one of my stories. Dad stayed up, making rounds, sipping coffee. The house creaked in ways I never noticed before. A few summers ago I went for a bike ride around midnight with a friend. We went our separate ways at the end of the evening and I had about 2 blocks to ride back by myself. Because of construction I had to ride on the sidewalk, but the streets were dead, but it wasn't a problem until right where I was about to turn left onto my street. There was this man walking by himself, maybe 40s, a little scruffy but not homeless. The sidewalk was narrow and I didn't want to freak him out, so when I got about 6 feet behind him I said, "Hey, behind you." And he turned around and gave me this super angry look. I turned down me street and he started to follow me, literally screaming about how I was a fucking cunt and he was going to kill me and all that. I live right off the corner and I didn't want him to figure that out, so I decided to do another loop around the block. That's not the scary part. The scary part is that when I looped back around and looked down the street I saw him standing on my fucking front stoop staring out at the street like the motherfucker knew I lived there. He saw me ride by again but he didn't say anything. I ended up going back to the friends, but my bike got stolen from the alleyway by the house 2 days later. Edit: the guy in question was definitely not actually homeless. We have a large population of mentally ill in that area, unfortunately, downtown of a medium-sized city, so if I didn't think the sidewalk was too narrow to pass otherwise I wouldn't have disturbed him. Half the scary part was that he looked pretty much completely normal for my area. That being said, I ended up texting my mom,